Fail-safe decorating tip for me is always have a splash of leaf green in your room. It works wonders. Best thing is fresh cut foliage, you can get it from the garden, or use bright green flowers, green dahlias, hydrangeas always do the trick. And if you can't get fresh cut flowers, then I would always say have a cushion, a lettuce coloured silk velvet cushion or a lime coloured vase. Anything that just gives that little zip of colour into a room, and it will lift neutrals, dark colours or brights. It's brilliant. My personal interior style, colour-wise, I always have to have lots of white. It makes me feel peaceful. But I like to weave in some neutrals, so dark grey is perfect neutral for me, a little bit of eau de Nil, and then pops of really hot colour. I'm obsessed with bright pink. I have a bright pink office chair. I have a bright pink vintage cushion in my bedroom. I think that bright pink is really the lipstick for my home. Every home needs to have a sense of soul, and what gives it that sense of soul is a really eclectic mix of personal possessions, things that have a backstory. I've been to lots of houses which have been done by interior designers, and everything is new and beautiful, but there is no sense of soul because the owners have not brought in things from the past. I have lots of personal possessions and I love to use them, but the most important thing is don't have too many. You have to learn to be your own editor. Less is always more. Secret to cool family living is immaculately planned storage. I have a family myself, I've got 2 teenage kids, so I know how important that is. And it doesn't mean that everything has to be put away the whole time, doesn't mean your house has to be tidy, but everybody just needs to know where things are going to go. I'm obsessed with wall hooks. Hooks are brilliant. You can hang pyjamas on them, shoes, jeans, keys, whatever you like, but use those hooks, brilliant. And also, if you've got a family home, particularly as your kids grow up, it's very important to create an atmosphere where your children feel that they can relax and bring their friends home. So keep it flexible. For me, in the kitchen, big kitchen table, lots of chairs, huge chill-out sofa, so everyone feels they can bring their mates home and just hunker down. When you're devising a decorating scheme, there are 3 basic rules. Number 1, I always do a mood board, and if you're not sure what style, direction you want to go in, go through interiors magazines, pull out some pictures that really inspire you, and you'll very quickly work out what your look is. Number 2, if you're not sure what colour scheme to go for, don't confuse yourself by going into a paint store or a fabric store. Go upstairs, open your wardrobe doors, the answer is there, waiting for you. If you've got lots of dark grey wool suits and dual colour blouses, that's what you need to have. You need a dark grey wool sofa and lots of bright cushions. And rule number 3 is spend as much money as you can on the bones of your home, the architectural basics. So that means quality wooden floors, classic cast iron radiators and really good quality doorknobs, things that you're going to touch and feel every day. You can have lots of fun with paint. You can do all the obvious things like repainting vintage bits of furniture, but what I really love, and I've seen it done fantastically well in other people's homes, is to look up and paint the ceiling. In a kid's room, you could do it gold, you can do it lilac, you can do it scarlet. If you want a really sophisticated drawing room or maybe a tranquil bedroom, then I would go for china blue or gull grey, something like that. And it creates an amazing lift, and I guarantee your visitors will come in and they'll look up and they'll say, oh my God, I want to practice that idea. Instant storage, something I'm quite obsessed with. Try and put everyday items that are really colourful into a big glass sweetie jar. I personally collect ribbon, so I curl it up and put it in a jar, and it looks incredibly beautiful. But you can do the same with buttons or colour pencils. I also use utility storage that you can pick up in DIY stores. So, for example, I use those brightly coloured builder's buckets to put my recycling in, much nicer than putting it in the things the council give you. And the last thing is you can use zinc buckets, line them up on a white shelf, keep things like candles in them, pencils, batteries, whatever. It will just give you a lovely, clean, crisp look. Often when people are asked about their favourite luxury buy, they'll say a cashmere throw, for example. But for me, the money that I spent on bespoke storage in my home is money extremely well spent because it uses every spare centimetre of your house. We had a section of wall that would have been useless for anything else, but we managed to create a very shallow cupboard just for our glasses, and it's brilliant. If you're having a last-minute dinner party, I would recommend 3 things. Number 1, a long line of inexpensive tea lights, and then in the background burn 1 really expensive quality scented candle. Personally, I love fig in summer and something orangey in winter time. Use long handled matches to light the candles because that looks incredibly elegant. Number 2, I would always suggest, rather than having 1 big expensive colourful flower arrangement, just go and buy a bunch of inexpensive but colourful flowers. You could use anemones, ranunculus, daisies. Snip them off and gather them together in some glass tumblers and put them all together as a centrepiece. Number 3, you can't beat crisp plain white napkins, but roll them up and tie them with a piece of coloured ribbon. Guests love it. For an instant makeover tip, I would suggest going and buying some ready-made curtains, plain colour, doesn't matter whether it's neutral or a colour, and then go to a ribbon shop, either vintage or new, and buy some really wide satin ribbon in a bright colour or possibly striped grosgrain ribbon. And then either by hand or using a sewing machine, stitch that ribbon down the leading edge of both curtains and along the bottom. Instant tailoring, and it looks brilliant. For me, my design mantra is casual living. It's a design philosophy that means so much to me that I wrote a whole book about it. And for me, casual living is about creating a home that still looks great even if there are things lying around. It's about mixing easy care surfaces with slightly crumpled fabrics, which might be linens, it might be seersucker, it might be denim. So the whole idea is that you have a very relaxed home that you can live with. It's the perfect wash and go home.